Hi, everyone. I have Eric Vickery with me today. How are you doing, Eric?
Doing good, Paula.
Great. We're just having a conversation, coaching corner here, about cancellations, and it's everybody's concern. And there are a few things we can do, small changes that can make a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you have a verbal skill that I think is pretty cool. Why don't you share it with us?
Yeah. So obviously with the tracker and looking at open time and how many cancellations that offices are getting, you see those dollars add up pretty quickly. And
Yeah,
we
I do.
know we're going to have an acceptable amount, but we want that to be at a certain dollar amount, a certain percentage of open time. And so one of the things we work on with teams all the time is how do we cut that in half? And then how do we cut that number in half? And so one of the skills, obviously there's several things we go through, but I think the big thing right now is we're so used to saying things like, all right, we'll just go up front. You're all set. We'll get you scheduled in 6 months. We'll see you then. It's just a cleaning. We wonder where that mentality comes from. And we've taught them how to treat us in dentistry. And so a retraining process is to move away from, I'm going to book you an appointment to I'm going to reserve you a time with that provider. So it's a reservation, not an appointment conversation.
Love that. Yeah.
So I think of three things right away when I do this, and I'm always trying to give the patient the benefit as to why I'm saying what I'm saying. So I want to make this about them, how they're going to benefit from it, and that's why I'm reserving the time.
Yeah.
So why would it's so funny when we did this years ago in my father-in-law's practice, and we were talking about we have an hour of Debbie's time reserved just for you. They're going, I'm not there for an hour. I'm there for like 30 minutes, and then I go, well, let's just talk, see when you come. And they walk out and see me and go, I am here for an hour. I didn't realize that. And so their perception is we're running patients through, we have a waiting room and we're just putting people in. And that's why you get that voicemail on the answer machine, Ricky Bobby at 7:30 in the morning saying, hey, Paula, I want to give you plenty of notice. I won't make my 8 a.m. appointment. Just put somebody else in that spot. I want to give you plenty of notice, and you're getting the message 15 minutes. They don't understand that we don't just slide people in.
We're not like their medical doctor that has
like their physician.
60 patients an hour.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So we need to tell them that we're not like them. Teach them how to treat us. So anytime you're scheduling an appointment, at the end of a new patient phone call, at the end of a hygiene visit, if your hygienist scheduling, when the patient's walking out, right at admin front desk area, you're scheduling, this is what you could say. I prefer the provider to say this, but three things. They go, look, we're all about creating the best experience for you. That means individualized attention for quality care. And what I mean by individualized attention is I actually reserve an hour of my time just for you every time I schedule an appointment.
I like that.
That way you get the best care possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to be reserving an hour of my time for you at that next visit. That way we get you the best care possible. That's the first two things. The third thing is, so we ask the same thing of all of our patients so that we can continue to provide that level of care. We ask that you also reserve that time just for me and hold that time precious. Yeah. Does that sound fair? Yeah. You go, oh yeah, I didn't realize that. Now, I've had some offices add a fourth step. They go, we're not a clinic. We just can't handle last minute scheduling changes or anything like that. So it's so important that we find a time you can commit to.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And when you see them hesitating, like, oh, I might have to drive carpool that day, you say, oh, you know what, let's find a day that's not stressful for you. That sounds like a stressful situation. And
it prevents that patient that goes, well, I don't know what I'm doing in 6 months, so just put something down for me and I'll give you a call. They don't say that after you do reservation, not an appointment.
Exactly. And another thing that I hear a lot is we need 24 or 48 hours notice. That's not enough time. I like to say, we can find something else for you if you give us plenty of notice, like 2 weeks.
That's what I say, 2 weeks, yeah.
All the team members say, well, they're not going to give us 2 weeks now. I'm like, that's not the point. You're teaching them by saying that's what we want.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you're going to get that. But if you just say 24, 48, they're going to wait till, oh, I can do it up to the last minute, and that covers the weekend and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
So what do you think about, I'm following a thread on a typical dental board. They're talking right now about no-shows on there, and I won't say them. It has the word dental in it. So, and they're in a specific town, but I won't tell you what town it's in. But they're talking about no-shows in there. So all these doctors are chiming in on what they do. And there's one doctor in there says, I just tell them it's $100 an hour if they ever need to change an appointment. And they don't ever change. And I just think, yeah, you could do that, but isn't that a policy? And a policy is a fancy word for the word threat. And this is about relationship, and you have relationship through communication. So you can do, I think you can do reservation on an appointment and teach them how to treat you versus threaten them how to teach you, how to treat you. So that's my thought.
And I've seen, to fee or not to fee is the question. Yep. We talk about that a lot. That's a little bit down the list. I don't like to make a blanket fee because some people have a valid reason and they get on Google and write reviews about that. I had a good reason, my dad was in the hospital and they charged me, didn't care, These days you have to really be careful about that. So
I try to, like you taught me, put them on the pit list if there's a problem. But look, did they know how to treat you before they started just treating you the way they thought, hey, it's okay to cancel? Did you have a conversation up front, or do you just have a placard on the wall that has a threat on it? I think if you can have this conversation with them repeatedly, you're going to constantly be getting someone who's on board with you.
Repetition, you're right. PIT list stands for patients in training, by the way. You're absolutely right. Yes, and the apology close and things like that we can talk about more, but this is really good. So those are some quick tips on helping you reduce cancellations with just a few minor changes, right?
That's right.
Thanks, Eric.
All right. Thanks, Paula.
Bye, guys.